Here we go. Sorry for the laugh.
It's okay. I wasn't muted, so I was like, I'll just move my headphone away from my face.
Cool. Hopefully, we're coming in live on YouTube. It's been such a fun start to this one. My name is Heather, and I am the host of Sunshine and Power Cuts. And this week, I'm bringing to you a week of live streams celebrating connections. And today, I am joined by fellow Kiwis who are living in Australia, Bex and Gareth Thomas. Hey, guys.
Hey, how are you?
What
Do
did
you want to say hi, Bex, and then we can
hi.
see
you?
Sorry. Gareth said, how are you? So I was waiting for a response.
Here we go. There we go. Maybe
There we
people
go.
can hear you now. It's going to be a little off the rails, I feel, but it's all good.
Was it ever on the rails? I thought it was just always just bouncing between the three of them. I don't know.
Yeah.
No, darling, never.
We are here, and I am really grateful that you both have joined me. It's been awesome to connect with you because we kind of have connections via podcasts that we listen to. So, like, we found each other via Twitter. And did you want to share, like, the connections that you've got in podcasting to start with?
Well, we made a few, through the Pod and Family network and everything. I think the first person that we really got in touch with and got connected with was Mike Jolitz from, Beth is going to kill me for this one. I've got a 50-50 chance here of it. From Arizona. I got it right. Cool.
You got it right.
So to annoy Bex from Arizona. And yeah, it was fun because he would message from two accounts and I'd always get confused because I thought we had two listeners, but it was only one.
Yeah, me too.
And so that was fun. And then he joined me onto the Pod and Family before it was called the Pod and Family. And then it went from there. And we've got in touch now with yourself. We've got in touch with a few people from all over America, a couple of people here in Australia by themselves, one about 20 Ks down the road.
We have Australian listeners too, or friends?
Yeah. And we also have the Countdown Pod over in Perth.
Just goes to show I don't know.
No, as I say, it's good to know that me being the producer of the show is a good thing because if it was left to you, Bex, you'd be like, some people and things go beep.
You're lucky I'm not allowed to use bad language because the words I want to say to you right now. No,
I'm trying. That's why there's pauses before I talk because I have to wait and go, wait, is that clean? Or yeah, it's clean. Cool. I can talk.
Well, I appreciate that. Thank you.
Yeah. Our shows aren't exactly clean.
That's why we have a disclaimer.
Yeah, I do try and keep them as clean as we can, but
no, we don't.
Sometimes there's news stories where you've got to use certain words, but as we said before, we're not going to on this one because you have a clean show and we want to say thank you for letting us be on here. And we want to come back, so we don't want to be sitting there blowing out your swear radar in about 2 minutes. So, it's all good.
We have in the chat Bandrew Scott from Podcastage, and we also have Adam Higgins from the Odd Dad Out podcast. So hi to you guys.
Hey, guys.
Adam said that everyone loves Gareth and Bex for some reason.
I love it.
I think everyone loves Bex. I'm just the tag-on dude, really, I think. Yeah. I need to find out where to get this chat from YouTube. I need to figure this out because I want to see what he says about me. He always says really nice things about me, and I don't know if that's a ploy or if he's got other things or he does actually like the show. I don't know. It's just waiting.
I think Adam likes coming in and hanging out with you guys when you record your show as well.
Yes.
Yeah.
He's the only one. Thank you, Adam.
And we've got Stargate Pioneer here too. So hi, SP. And so you guys record your show. How do you do it? Is it via Spreaker?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah. So do we use the Spreaker app, Gareth?
Yes, we do. Yeah.
Yeah. It's actually not too bad. We go live. We record live now. We gave up trying to edit our podcast or stuff it. If you don't want to hear all of us, don't listen.
It also came from the point of when we edited it, like it took already about 40 minutes to record. Then it was another 40 minutes to edit. And then it took another 40 minutes to upload it and then get all the things. And be brutally honest with you, I'd only had like Sundays off. So I didn't want to spend the whole day doing one podcast. And at that point, we only had like 20 listeners. So it was like, well, what's the point kind of thing? So we decided to do it live because 9 times out of 10, the podcast wasn't that much edited. It was just me putting in music and that was it.
Yeah, well, you're able to do that with the Spreaker app, aren't you?
Exactly.
Yeah.
So it was just like, why not just do it live? It was fun the first time though, because I'm used to doing stuff live from my radio backgrounds. Bex is not. So the first time she would do anything, she'd make a mistake and be like, can we edit that? Honey, it's live. People around the world right now are listening to you talk. And straight away she'd clam up for about 2 minutes going,
Just like today.
Oh, honestly, usually I let Gareth talk. Half the time I don't get a word in edgewise.
pretty much, yeah.
But we did do some radio as well. We used to host 2 shows a week at a local community radio station, which was fun.
Cool.
It was. There was very interesting music that you had to try and pick from and everything, but that was good. It was good.
It was like listening to, what was the radio station you used to work for in New Zealand?
Nothing. No. It was like an old school rock kind of
like
thing.
golden oldies style music.
Yeah, that kind of stuff. So,
yeah.
But it was still cool.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was just you try and do new stuff, and it was one thing I really think's weird about some sort of radio stations. Sometimes that they'll have like the Eagles going into the Beatles, going into Franz Ferdinand, going into Disturbed, going into the Beatles again. You're like, there's no real link there. It's almost someone's just gone, shuffle, screw it. And that's about it. So,
Was that far from
so it was like
my to travel to that? Sorry?
It was about a good 45 minutes.
Closer to an hour, but where we were living at the time, it was only 20 minutes because we were north side and the radio station was north side. Yeah.
But it was still, 20 minutes to get there, 20, like, prep time, do it back. Yeah,
and it was our only days off.
Yeah, 2 days off with each other, and it was like, meh. So it was interesting, let's put it that way. So, yeah, but we had fun and enjoyed it, and I think everyone up there enjoyed our weird sense of
they used to make fun of us.
Stories that were going on. Oh yeah, that too.
They used to make fun of us. We were the Kiwis, and the guys used to come jump on the radio and go call us up and go, mate, it's not jandals, it's thongs, and we're like, dude, seriously, not going to happen. I call them flip flops before I ever call them thongs. I don't wear underwear on my feet. Thanks very much.
And they liked us saying the number 6 a lot because
but it's not. It doesn't sound like that.
No. To all the Americans out there right now, there's a weird Kiwis and Australians sound the same. It's almost as if saying like Americans and Canadians sound the same, but Canadians say a boot and stereotypically say a boot and oot and all that kind of stuff.
Do you know Go on, sorry. No, go on.
Where Kiwis, will say certain words, and Australians will say the same thing but different, like 6, the number 6, and sex. Over here, they say 6 for the number, and it's a weird. You kind of have to have them all lined up together, kind of thing. But yeah, it's strange because we don't hear the accent. Obviously, speaking with Heather, we don't hear the accent.
No.
When we have American friends on, we do. So yeah.
Well, what's funny is a friend of mine tried to explain to me recently how she hears the difference in the accent. So New Zealand was settled by dignitaries and proper settlers that came. They were snotty nose first people, and then but Australia was settled by.
How are you going to word this one next? Yeah.
Criminals. No, look, it was. Australia was settled by criminals. So the difference is New Zealand's accent is slightly more sticky nose in the air, poncy, posh, and Australians is very more common.
We would go, how now, brown cow? And they're like, how now, brown cow? And that kind of.
Yeah. But
it's the same, but it's not quite right. It's like getting Coke and store brand Coke. You can kind of go, yeah, they're both black, they're both fizzy, they're both liquid, but they're not quite the same. What I mean?
See, Gareth likes the cheap one, and I won't drink anything but the more expensive.
Sorry. I don't know if
it's true.
Stargate Pioneers put on here, Bex, for you. Hashtag wear underwear on your feet.
Yeah, and it's a quote from the hashtag Sunshine Summit. Yeah.
There we go. Done.
Sorry.
So what did you learn, Heather, for this entire thing? Well, I learned about connections, all the good people around the world, and to wear underwear on your feet. Mm-hmm. Cheers.
it's funny because I was trying to explain to my friends over here why we say certain things different ways. So things like, I don't know if you've ever heard them say esky or icy pole.
Yeah.
So icy poles and eskies are a brand name.
Yeah.
So it's not what it is. It's the brand of what it was when it was first introduced. Whereas we call it a chili bin because you put
That's
ice in
what
it,
it
it chills food. Yeah. Exactly.
There was actually something that came up on that recently in the podcastage Discord server, and there's an Australian in there who's called Newsreel, and he got actually pretty wound up about it.
Really? We have friends that will fight us tooth and nail about thongs and jandals. We have friends, all that stuff. But we have one friend, Brad, who every time we say chili bin, he's like, why do we call it eskies? I mean, seriously, it's a chili bin. It's what it does. It's a bin that keeps things chilly. And yet we call it eskies. It makes no sense, and it's stupid.
Have you guys seen How to Dad?
Yes.
Love him.
Yes.
I love that last video he posted about I'm a Kiwi, I am not Australian.
And so there's eskies in there, and that's what triggered the newsreel guy to say that.
Really? I mean, everybody says things differently. I refuse to call it a doona. It's a duvet. And there's a difference between a duvet and a quilt.
Other thing, when I first started playing online, because we should probably talk about something else at the moment, but when I first started playing online, people would hear the accent and go, oh, you must be Australian. I'm like, no, I'm a Kiwi, we're different. And I remember this one American guy went, oh, yeah, no, they're the same, aren't they? It's fine. And so straight away I went, oh, what part of Canada are you from? And he straight away picked up and started going nuts, like, I'm from America. We do American. Sorry for the accent. So blah, 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 blah. And I went, oh, aren't they the same thing? And everyone in the group just went, well done. The guy disconnected and I've never heard from him since. I don't know where he went.
That's hilarious. That's hilarious.
I mean, it's cool to have fun and jokes and stuff like that. It was just, I've had enough now. I'm going to fight back. It was good.
I'll be honest, even though we have our differences, we are essentially the same thing. New Zealand and Australia almost should be one country sometimes.
But once again, everyone is the same thing, Bex. We all bleed. We all have hearts. No matter where you are in the world, we're all one. Yeah, I know. About that too.
Before we went live today, we were tweeting with Adam, and you guys were saying, well, Gareth, you said that you both want to go to America and go to the States and visit. So
we do.
Some of the places that you might want to go there.
I've heard Surprise in Arizona is pretty naff.
Well
There's
done.
a few people there that we shouldn't go to see. One being Adam. I'm trying to see if he's on the chat still. I'm just trying to open.
I want to go to Texas.
There's 3 people in that one city.
Yeah.
That we all hang out with. Mike, Adam, and Chris Molman. He's there too. There's another guy we chat to. But we've got mates in LA. The guy that does our jingle for our podcast is actually in America. He's in
I love
LA.
Will. He's awesome.
He's in a band called Ships Have Sailed, and we
they
randomly
chatted
to him, got him in, and I drunkenly sent him a text message once saying, if you're bored and you're sitting around a studio, can you just bust out a theme song for us? And he went, yeah, cool, no worries, I'll get done to it. And
we do a podcast once a year with them too.
Yeah.
Awesome.
And it came back fully produced and everything. It's like, I was
he's
expecting
awesome.
it just to do an a cappella thing, but no, it's got drums and guitars and keyboards and it's great.
He's awesome. He is awesome, actually. Really, really cool guy.
Yeah.
They just recently did a trip around Europe, pub tour, because they don't have a record deal, do they?
They're independent.
They're an independent group, which is awesome, and you can find their music on iTunes.
We are not pimping it out in any shape or form. We're stealing good stuff now to promote someone else. No.
But no,
it's all about connections, so I'm keen to hear what they sound like. So
they're wicked. They really are really awesome. They are my go-to music. I love them.
Yeah.
And my kids even dance around, because I'm a nanny. They dance around the living room to their song music as well. I play it at work.
We also want to go and hang out with Nick from Epic Film Guys and I can never say it right. Is it Restaurant?
Yeah,
Restaurant. Yeah, he's a cool guy. We've had him on the show a couple of times, and
that was awesome yesterday because he was my guest yesterday, and he was in the kitchen cooking up a storm, and I was I am so hungry. Damn you.
his show and that show last night, I almost cancelled today only because I watched it and I felt I was hungry and I wanted to break my diet, and I wanted to break it so bad because that looked so good.
I was going to say, we've been breaking it for 2
tasty.
weeks. Don't pretend like we're being
It's
good.
called acting, Bex. Shh, shh. Acting. But no, it did look really, really bloody good. I was like, and he's put the recipe up now too. So
yeah.
I might have to buy some meat. That was just so good.
Yeah, and whereabouts is Juliet? I can't remember. Are they in
Chicago?
Chicago. So we're going to go to Chicago as well. And I want to go to Oregon. I'm a huge quilter.
Cool.
That's what I do for a hobby. I enjoy quilting.
Yeah.
And they have some of the most amazing quilt stores in a town there called, I think it's called Three Sisters.
Yeah.
So that's where I want to go. Gareth is going, oh God, no, not again. But
no, I'm just thinking you also we want to go to, what's that place? Is it Knives or Spoons or something like that or something? What is it?
Okay, so seriously, he's making fun of me for the Twilight reference right now, but actually they've apparently got some really amazing hiking trails there in Forks, Arizona.
Cool.
So that would be somewhere that I'd be interested to go to, but not for the Twilight references. Thank you, Gareth.
Bex.
For goodness sake, I would
Bex,
be more
we're all
inclined...
friends here. We're all friends here.
Nah, I would rather do the Harry Potter trails around the UK than do the Twilight thing around America. I want to go to America for the scenery. They've got some beautiful parks there.
Yeah, they do. And SP has just said that vampire baseball is pretty cool. So.
No, the music behind Vampire Baseball was pretty cool.
For once, I don't know what you're talking about. I don't know what's going on here.
Supermassive Black Hole by Muse.
That's a cool song. No, that's a cool song.
Awesome.
Was that in Twilight?
Yes, it was.
Muse is awesome.
Yeah, Muse did like 5 songs for Twilight. For every single one, they had a Twilight.
Next thing you're going to tell me that Linkin Park was in Twilight as well.
Yes. The first one.
Move on.
Okay, well,
New topic.
Moving on back to quilting. I am a quilter too, so I have one that I've been working on for a while, and it's not finished, but it's a cool one that I picked up some really neat fabrics with teacups and stuff. So I'm
how
making
lovely! Yeah, I'm making us an heirloom quilt, and actually, because I'm on my phone, I can walk around. I can show you.
Okay, I'm going to talk now so that while Bex is moving around, so that people don't get sick while watching this.
I'm not doing it on purpose.
I do have normally. Hi.
Can you hear yourself?
It's strange. Bex is walking past me.
We've done some technical magic today. We've got Bex on her phone and Gareth on the computer because we couldn't get us all to connect.
We were trying to get the 2 computers that Bex was over there, and
Kia ora.
Bex's computer could not work. Yes, Stargate Pioneer, because I don't know your name, so I'm just going to call you by your tag.
Yeah.
I agree. I like the movies. I really do. I've got tats on my arms I can't really see them because they're wrong angles, for Transformers, but he said Linkin Park may possibly be the best part of the entire Transformers film series. I agree.
No.
I like New Divide. New Divide is awesome. Please call me SP. All right, bro. I shall call the SP.
Yeah.
Okay. So where are we at? All right. Can I turn my camera around?
Here's hoping.
It's hoping. It's Google. I don't know. It's stuff that hit buttons to see what happens.
No.
Gareth, tell me if you can see it. So, there you go. So this is one I made a long time ago before Gareth and I.
Pardon the mess, by the way. I kind of got drunk.
You can only see the bed. Stop it.
I got drunk last night and kind of didn't tidy up my side of the bed.
So how long have you been quilting for, Bex?
Oh, about 20 odd years.
Whoa.
This is my mum taught me.
Awesome.
And this is the one I'm making for Gareth and I.
I like it.
Yeah. It's very intricate. It's taking me a very long time, but we're getting there.
Yeah.
So it's an heirloom quilt. I was supposed to make it for our first wedding anniversary, but it never quite got that far.
It's still time.
Yeah. We're almost at our second, but we'll get there.
Yeah. I also have Bex's mum's also quilting me a quilt, or maybe doing it for our kid. I don't know. I still wear a lot of t-shirts with band covers and words on them. I was going to wear one that had some naughty words on the t-shirt, and I was going to go, I'm not swearing today, while you can see the swear words, but I thought, no, that would be childish. But she's grabbed all of my old ones and is making them into a quilt. So
that's cool.
The man had 60 T-shirts. It needed to be done.
Yeah.
Gosh.
Yeah. And it's funny because I work at a place where there's a uniform. So imagine how many times I'd wear them. I could wear them for 3 months and I'd be fine. It's great.
Actually, what makes me laugh is you've accrued an additional 70 T-shirts since we've been in Australia. So,
I do. And it depends on the time SP if I've got that. Bex, you can't see the chat, can you?
No, I cannot.
Yes.
Sorry.
Awesome. No, it's right. She's on her phone, so it's all right. We'll tell you later, Bex, about what happened. It's fine.
No, you won't.
SP's just asked Bex if you wear underwear on your feet.
No.
I'm stuck on that for this one.
I love that look on Bex's face, just then what the
Going back to things.
What the frog?
Going back to music and things, though, because I listened to your latest episode. I think it was your latest one, maybe. And Bex, you are singing on that episode.
Yes.
And it is beautiful. I mean, that's a hard song to sing. And I was,
Thank you.
It's amazing.
Thank you. Yes, no, I love to sing. I'm actually trying to learn the Italian lyrics to Perfect at the moment. The Ed Sheeran song.
Yeah.
I absolutely love Andrea Bocelli. He's awesome. But I sung our wedding song. I don't know if you heard that episode. Gareth added it to the end of our episode as well.
Flag on the play, 10-point penalty right there.
What's wrong?
You want to rephrase that one? We sung our wedding song, not just you.
Oh, geez, Gareth. Split a hair or two, darling. No, yes, we did.
We've got friends of ours who are, one's a producer, a full-on producer, and the other one's a vocal trainer. And their present to us was they recorded us doing our song Walking Down the Aisle.
Yeah.
And so every time we were practicing it, every time it was the actual song. And then on the day it was our version.
We didn't tell anyone.
And it was funny because my mum's reactions was the funniest. She heard Bex started singing and did the whole...
I recognize that voice kind of thing.
Yeah, is that Bex? And I'm like... And as soon as my butt kicked in, everyone kind of went and looked at me and just went... I was like... I don't care. As long as no one looked at me just going, you've ruined everything. It was kind of one of those... It's a good effort. They never really did tell me how much auto-tune was used, but I'm feeling...
very little amount, she said.
That's awesome.
Which means...
Gareth.
No. But we had this thing that we were mucking around with, and I think even Adam was in this. Bex and I were doing a fake thing. I know Bex can sing, and Bex has got no confidence whatsoever with it, unless she's in the house. So I...
With my headphones in, and I don't think anyone can hear me, basically.
Even I'm sitting right beside playing PlayStation going, dude, shut up, I'm right here. But she... we did this thing, and it was either I sung or Bex sung. And everyone, thank whoever it is you pray to, voted for Bex. And so she got to do it. So that's all one take of Bex singing.
There was no real editing. The end bit was...
The only part was the end part, because in her original one... It didn't sound right. So I said, do that part again. And all I went through is just broke it up a bit to try and make it fit in a bit tighter. Other than that, it was all one take. And
it was incredible, Bex. It was amazing. And did you say that you're classically trained?
I am classically trained, yes. So I'm a second soprano. And I trained at high school. I was in the choirs. In fact, I actually had a choir teacher in my final year at high school. Took me to church one day because I went to an Anglican girls' school in Christchurch. Went to St. Margaret's College, and she said, she turned me into the music teacher and said, the music teacher said, I will see you for lessons on Thursday. And I went, I don't want to join the choir. I want to focus on my 7th form year. And she goes, too bad. I'll see you on Thursday. I went, bloody hell.
Yeah.
So yeah, no, I'm a second soprano, but I haven't sung classically in years. I'm a little bit flat.
Yeah. I used to be in the choir too at high school, and in 7th form I went to Italy and England on a choir trip because I kind of went to a fancy boarding school and managed to get over there. But it was awesome, and I can't sing nearly half as good as you can, but I just loved listening to your voice. It was amazing.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
The album drops next week, y'all. We got the new tracks lined up. Everything's going to be tight.
Actually, my secret desire when we come to America, and I honestly, I have no intentions of telling them that. Gareth probably will, but I'm sort of sitting there going, oh, nah, we'll see. I actually want to record a song with Will and Art from Ships Have Sailed, but I'm too nervous to even ask. So
I don't want anyone out there. No one is allowed to tweet at Ships Have Sailed. No one's allowed to add an @Bex131, and no one's allowed to request that they sing a song together. No one do that right
Thanks,
now.
dear.
No one, not at all. There we go. Done.
Is that sarcasm? Are we allowed to do it, or are
a
we
little
not
bit,
allowed to do it?
a little bit.
I just want to make sure that Bex actually does it, and if everyone
Yeah.
else asks, she has to do it.
Yeah.
So yeah. But it was funny when we did that singing stuff. Like I recorded a song as well, and there's vocals still on my computer, which no one would probably ever going to hear, of me singing songs. No, because it's crap. But what made it funny is that when we did that,
It's
it was
not
like
that
a
bad.
whole spend the afternoon having fun recording all these songs, just having play basically. And one of my songs I didn't tell Bex about, and it's an Eminem song called Insane. Now I'm not going to mention any of the lyrics because once again,
not a good
family
idea.
show. But if you can imagine Bex singing along to Zombie from Cranberries, I busted out an Ed Sheeran song, and
Which you did really well at once you dropped your levels a little bit.
yeah. And then I busted out an Eminem song, which starts straight away into the most rudest lyrics you can think of without telling Bex. And the
No
only
idea what
thing
he
I
was saying.
hated about it was that I couldn't look behind me and see Bex's face just drop. But supposedly she went, what?
It wasn't so much that my face dropped. It was like, what on earth is he singing? Did he come up with that? If he came up with that, we are seeing a therapist.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah. So that was quite funny. Now we've got Adam in the chat there, Heather, saying that you're being modest, that you're actually amazing at singing.
Oh, brilliant.
So
I'm just going to nervously laugh.
I love that. You're like, yeah, sure. Yeah. So if only there was some way that we could get two people to sing a song together. Bex and Heather mash up, maybe. Just saying, just throwing the idea out there. Don't get on Twitter. Don't mention Heather. Don't mention Bex.
I think Bex might want to listen to me first to see if we would be a fit. But
fine.
Can I do the Timberland? You guys sing beautifully and all that kind of stuff. I'll make like the beats and just go in the background. That's it. Please.
You're a geek.
Please.
So Adam has put that he's got an evil example of it. So it's I used to play Portal a lot. Do you know the game Portal?
Yep.
So at the end of the first one, the song is "Still Alive" by GLaDOS, and I really like that song. And as cruel as she was as a thing, you know, and I was very lucky to do a collaboration with Andrew Scott, and so I sung the lyrics to that, and he put together the instruments.
Wow.
Yeah.
Hey, Adam, you know my email. Hook me up. I want to hear that because that sounds awesome. I love that song as well as the sequel one as well. We're still alive. Are still alive? No.
Want You Gone.
Yeah, Want You Gone. That's the
How
one.
much of a geek I am, I know.
I still reckon
the
the funniest thing I've ever seen in those games is the part where Wheatley goes, this is the part where I kill you. That then pops up with the chapter that says, this is the part where he kills you. An achievement pops up that says, this is the part where he kills you. And then if you listen to the soundtrack that's playing at that time, the song title is called Now This Is Where He Kills You. It's the funniest thing.
Oh, my word.
Yeah, it's great.
It sounds it.
Yes. So Adam, hook us up. Okay, still got it. To the truth.
One of those things is on Connections too, and I just want to circle right back to the beginning because we didn't actually talk about it. But Gareth, you started the podcast by you were doing it, and then you got Bex involved because you were doing it from her car, and she was sitting there listening to you. But it's awesome that you now jointly doing the show together.
Yes, no, it took a little while. I used to do it in my car down the road from us, and then my car got introduced to the back end of my car got introduced to the front end of some other guy's car who didn't want to use his brakes and thought the back of my car would stop him.
And it was a Jaguar, which means your car crumpled like paper.
Yeah, pretty much. It didn't damage the crate that was in the back seat, though, so I was happy at that. But what had happened was that got written off, so I had to use Bex's car. So I went from a big Nissan Bluebird to an Echo.
Yeah, but that was 3 months. It took us 3 months. Was it 2 months to do that?
Something like that.
You
But what
had
had
to do
happened
it from
was,
your bedroom before that.
yeah, and it was very quiet because I had a house full of people, and it was very, very quiet, and very, very subtle, and it was strange. But then Bex's car came along. I took her up there, and it took her so long, and even then, I had to give her lines, and that was very much the edited versions because it was like, Bex, say it like this. No, like this. Say it like that'll do.
Yeah, but remember, of course.
So it was funny. So.
I mean, I was never really into the whole radio scene before I met Gareth, so this stuff is very new to. It's not new now, but it's still new to me in comparison to Gareth's background.
Yeah.
I've always been in childcare or that sort of stuff, or singing to myself. I never really sung out loud until Gareth sort of got me into recording my own voice. But it was very interesting to start off with because, you know, Gareth and I started dating in the August. His car got damaged in the December, and I moved in with him in the January. So, and then I sat in the car a lot just listening to him before he actually introduced me to the podcast.
Yeah.
But it was really good because, I mean, I started off just doing the disclaimer. So
Yeah.
I didn't really do much else. It was just the disclaimer. And I've been doing the disclaimer for 7 years now. So,
Oh.
and we were...
And what does she still do? She still messes it.
Not so bad. It's not so bad.
No. It is funny though, because every time beforehand, it's because there's a slight delay in this breaker app when you click live. It goes live, it loads a little bit, and then you're ready like 3 seconds in. So it's kind of one of those.
Yeah.
Now, do it now.
And because
it
we
just
don't
throws
sit
it every time. Yeah.
And we don't sit next to each other anymore when we do the podcast. So I can't see what my levels are like and stuff on the actual computer. So Gareth actually has to tell me, get your volumes up.
Yeah. Which is funny because my mic is awesome, and it's, you know, I can be like this far away and I can talk normally, and I have a loud voice, so it's all groovy. But Vex's one basically is like up against her face, and
I love my snowball. Leave it alone.
Levels are quite loud, and she's still like this, going hi, and she can't see me. She's just I'll keep talking. Bye. It's fun times.
It's not always that bad.
Yeah. How have you found the connection between the two of you doing the podcast together?
It's fun.
Yeah.
We always have a lot of fun doing it. I think you enjoy it more, don't you, honey? That you're not doing it by yourself.
Yeah, it just gives another person that's going to give me stick later on in the show. It's great. Especially Adam in the chats, he gives me a bit of stick. I got Mike giving me stick, and now I have my own wife giving me stick. It's really good. My self-confidence is through the roof. I feel amazing, and no. It is good because when we used to prep it, it was half the show I didn't have to worry about. As we went, Bex, find the stories, I'll talk about it later, and just ad-lib it, where now I think all of it's ad-libbed because we both just go,
what do you want to talk about today?
Yeah, let's go. All right, done.
And
45 minutes, finishes, and we're done.
Yeah, you've got a good flow with each other and bounce off each other, and it's cool.
Yeah, well, I mean, it makes it a lot easier when you can talk well with the person you're talking with.
Mm-hmm.
That was the one thing that a lot of our radio listeners used to say, was that we've got a good rapport when we're on air.
Yeah,
which we really
just like with us and Heather right now, because this is take, what is it, 3, 4 that we've talked or something. I think.
Yeah.
Yep.
But that's all technical difficulties. That's not anything.
That was technical difficulties.
And each time we've had really good conversations. I have enjoyed getting to know you, and I really appreciate your time letting me talk to you that much.
We'd legitimately, for people out there, like we'd recorded something. How long ago was it? January, yeah. And it was for this, and I was too loud.
I was too loud. You were too quiet.
That's what it was. And then we did one with Bex. And then there was something else that had gone wrong, and
it didn't record your audio at all, so we lost that one. Yeah.
And so we were going to use the one from January, and you had mixed it properly. And then I think I just came in yesterday and just went, stuff it. We have the day off. It's going to fit in perfect.
Yep.
It couldn't have worked out any better.
It's one of those rare occasions where I'm not on teaching practice, and I'm not. I started work at 5:30 this morning, and I finished at 7:30 this morning. So.
And because I was dumb, I kept seeing that it was Thursday, thinking it was Thursday our time, not Friday our time. And Bex is normally at practice, and I'm at work, and I was like, okay, cool. And I think it was, yesterday, I think I was messaging you when I put up going to join you tomorrow, and you're like,
not actually
2 days. Hold on a minute, 2 days, that's Friday. We're going to have the day off. Bex, you know what we're doing? We're doing it live. Do you want us to do it live?
And I was like, yes, please, I do. Yeah. Please come on live.
Hell of a lot easier. Yeah. So, and here we are. Yeah. So,
yeah. Now we can't lose our chat because we are live. There's
and
no reason why this shouldn't be working.
Yeah.
Oh, no.
Sorry to just lift that veil up from behind the curtains of this one. I'm sorry, guys. Yeah.
It's all right. We've had lots of surprises. It's all good.
Yeah. And I think it was, Adam's just jealous because we get to spend more time with you because he doesn't know how to get a proper mic. I mean,
Gareth,
he doesn't know how to... I'm just doing that to see what he's going to type in the chat. I can't remember. It was something that went wrong yesterday, but that's good. He knows I'm joking. If
yes, I know he knows you're joking, but now he's going to say something on our podcast. Stop it. Behave yourself.
It's called listener feedback. It's feedback, babe.
Not listener feedback. It's Gareth feedback.
I love Bex immensely. Gareth,
It's funny because we have these joke beefs with other podcasts. I don't know if you've ever seen any of them. But Gareth started one a while back. Well, who was it with? I can't remember for the life of me. And then
Adam, probably.
Probably.
Oh, it was either Adam or Mike. They're the only two I've really.
But then we had a joking beef with the guys from Now That I'm Older. Do you remember?
Yes. Yeah.
Because Kenny. No, I'm joking. Kenny calls me Betsy, and I can't stand it. What does he call you? He calls you Grover, doesn't he?
Grover, yeah. I'm taking that just because I sound like him or something like that. I don't know.
No,
but yeah.
I just think he can't be bothered learning our names.
But it's fun because it's Shane. Shane is the host, and Kenny's the co-host, and Shane loves us. And
Shane's awesome.
Kenny's kind of like, I think he does, but it's just kind of one of those. You know what I mean?
How do you know?
Yeah, exactly. But it's sort of cool. It's sort of fun. Like nothing he's ever said, I've gone. Bloody hell, Kenny, you're a bastard. I don't like you. Yeah.
But it's fun
because it all comes from places of love, though. Because, there's no way that I would sit there and, mock someone that's not going to be able to give it back and doesn't know that it's a joke. Yeah. Hence why I will sit there and mock the hell out of Adam, and I know that I'm going to sit there afterwards and text him and go, "Hey, bro, I mentioned you in the podcast. Ha ha ha. Love you."
He mentioned in the live chat that you're lucky that he loves you all.
Yeah, because he would say that. He would say that because all our 50 listeners are going to hate him if that's. I don't know.
But it's funny because when Pod and Family started, I think it's only been going for 2 years now.
About that,
nearly 3.
About that, yeah.
This was how it started. There were all these fake beefs being started, and it was the funniest
we were trying to think of new ways to talk about the podcast as opposed to, hey, I listened to this really cool podcast the other day. It was the Sunshine and Power, that kind of, it just sounded real naff. So we all kind of just thought, wouldn't it be funny if we were just like, God damn, I was listening to this lady called Heather, man. She lives off the grid, and my God, everything must, no, she doesn't shower because she's off the water, doesn't have anything else like that. Doesn't have any power, so it's not going to have hot water, And it was just kind of one of those things you'd be sitting there going, who is this Heather? What? And you'd listen, and then you'd be like, bouncing back kind of thing. And it was always 100% always a joking thing. Mm-hmm. But it was. We did find a couple of people that
didn't take it as well.
Didn't know how to do it or didn't know how to give it back in that joking way.
But everybody seems to get along really well now. It's funny because Gareth says to me constantly, you need to write in the Twitter feed. You need to write in the messages to tell people that you're still alive. Yeah. And I'm going, but I read it and I go, I don't know how to relate to this. And Gareth's saying, just write this.
Give me your phone. There you go. I'm
just like, because I get on there and I write, we're going live in 10 minutes. And it took me maybe 4 weeks to realize that I actually need to write our tag. And so people know, because obviously Gareth's Twitter handle is at GRRpod, which is, Gareth's Random Ramblings. But mine is Bex131. And for people out there who don't actually know who I am, because I'm very quiet in the Twitter feed, they look at me and go, they look at my thing and go, oh yeah, see you live. Who are you?
Next, yeah.
Which is why I think we probably got a few more listeners these days.
There was a running joke that we'd have like 30 listeners, and then we had to upgrade it to 37, and now we have to upgrade it to 45. So we're very, very slowly building listeners every week, kind of thing. So
I love it. It's great. It's great to know that we're able to connect to other people through our podcast as well. Like, as you were saying about connections, you know, the number of friends that we've made through the pod and family is just fantastic.
That's awesome.
One thing that I love is learning about our friends' backgrounds as well. You know, we've made friends with a guy called Rob's Random Ramblings with Rob, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Is it Rob? Yes. And Rob's an ex-Marine, and that's so cool. You know, for coming from our military background, my uncle was a major in the New Zealand Army.
Put it this way as well, in the nicest possible way ever. I'm a fat white guy who's
blind as a bat,
pudgy as hell, wouldn't start a fight with anyone because I know I'd get knocked out. And I've got a mate over in America who's a big, black, bulky guy, built like a brick hit house with hit, as well as the nicest guy of all time. Yeah, thank you. Nicest guy of all time. Someone I would never, ever talk to, ever, if it hadn't been for like Twitter and actually just getting in touch and connecting with people, you know?
He's awesome. He's so nice.
Yeah.
Yeah. And, you know, Mike is also ex-Army Corps.
Mm-hmm.
And it's really, really cool, like, just learning things about our friends as well, like things you wouldn't expect because you listen to these guys talking away and what they do. And
I didn't tell you the big thing. I used to be in the Army. Did you know that? I delivered a pizza there once. I'm not going to say it got there full, but I went there. Down the road.
I always wanted to join the Army, but I was never capable of reaching the fitness level they expect of you. I'm a chronic asthmatic, especially in New Zealand. And when you come to Australia, I'm too old now, but, you know.
There was another reason, not only because I was fat, that I didn't make the Army, and I have no idea what it was. I wish I could tell you what it was, but they never, ever told me exactly what the reason was. So I just don't know.
Eyesight's horrendous.
Yeah, pretty much. I think bats look at my eyes and go, damn, you're blind. So it's fun.
It's fun. It's fun.
One of the other connections that I've realized that we have, that we share something in common, is that you guys like coffee.
Love coffee. Addicted to coffee.
Yeah.
Cannot survive without it.
I have been drinking a lot of it recently. I've actually emptied out. So it's one of those we don't really like promoting our show as well. Like I try hard not to. But, you know, we come up with all these ideas of having T-shirts and things. We can never find anything that we could connect onto our podcast properly. And so I've had all these ideas, but there's just no way. And I don't think I'm ever going to be able to link in properly with any promotions of our podcast ever in anything. I just don't know how to do it. I'm not that smart. I really, really do not know how to do it. So, you know, I'll just sit here drinking my lovely warm coffee out of my cup.
How is yours warm? Mine is ice cold now.
Actually, mine's empty, so it's fine.
Don't tip it under the table.
I think Adam's just showing off now in the chat. He said he tried to join the Army, but he was too skinny. Yeah, whatever, man. Whatever, just skinny, man.
I could do it, but I just couldn't reach the level of the fitness. Do you guys remember doing the beat test in high school?
Hated it.
Oh, it was the worst
The Grand
ever.
Fitness Challenge will start right now. The beat must be at the end of the I had to voice when I worked at radio. I had to voice one of them once for a school, and I'm also the voice of a movie theater. I think I still am. I think it's my voice telling people to keep your feet off the seats and make sure the rubbish gets put back in the receptacles provided. You'll notice the exits right now by looking over to the side. That kind of thing. And one of them I had to do was like a beat test thing. And
beat tests are the worst.
I had to be doing it the whole entire time. I was like, and now get ready. You poor insert word here that got beat down afterwards. I was like, I'm going to do it. Why not? So yeah.
In the sixth form. No, sorry. Was it the sixth form or the fifth form? No, it was the fifth form. I don't know if your schools did it, but my school, because I went to 3 different high schools. Long story. We don't want to get into that. But my first high school, we were allowed to drop PE and health at fifth form level. Were you guys able to do that?
Yeah, I didn't have to do it in sixth form.
Yeah,
Yeah.
well, we were allowed to drop it in the fifth form. We had an elective, so you could either do media studies or a few other things or PE. And even though I was one of the first people to put my form in, they put me down for PE. I was like, oh God, I don't want to do PE. And it turned out we had all of 2 girls in our PE class. 2.
Yeah.
So, 30 kids, 28 of them were boys. So naturally we played the entire year. It was the worst year of my life. And I don't do touch rugby. I don't do contact sports. It just doesn't work with me. I'm a tennis player.
The only cool story I have about PE is, other than the times I've cracked my head open and got scars and everything else like that, was we were playing the rugby where you have the tag off. Is that tag rugby? Yeah, it is. Yeah, the tag.
Or is it Ripper Rugby? I think
Yeah,
they call it Ripper Rugby these days.
Yeah, and we were in the main gym. And I think the Matrix had come out like 3 months before. Like, this is how old this story is, right? This is how old I am, okay?
You is old.
I did the whole running at the guy, and the bully just looked at me like, I don't care. You're going onto the floor. Like, he was ready. And I just went, haha, jumped up, legit as I'm sitting here before you. At least 4 or 5 times my feet hit the wall, jumped aside and ran and scored a try. And I just went there and went, I'm done. I'm out. And everyone was just like, that worked? How? I don't know either. I just did it. It worked. I'm sorted. I'm done. Good night. That was it. So, yeah.
That's because you're a skinny kid, right?
No, I was still fat. I've always been fat. So
not from the photos I've seen.
I think it was just the momentum that I had. It was just like,
Yeah. Got some air.
Yeah. Gravity hadn't yet worked out what was going on. It's like, why is that fat guy running? Oh, wait, hold on. I got to do my job. That was it. Yeah. I think, Heather, we're going to get a few mugs in the mail by the looks of things in the chat. I think we're getting a few mugs are going to be mentioned. Yeah.
We also have another connection, though, Heather, don't we? Because you and I lived in the same town.
Yeah.
I was a child. I don't know. You were.
I was older.
Yeah.
So not at the same time.
No, not at the same time.
I was mainly age. Yeah.
But Gareth never lived in the same town, so that's a connection that you and I have. I grew up in a little town north of Auckland called Dairy Flat, and you lived there for a little while.
For a very short while, but I did. Yeah.
Yeah. I love it. It's the best place in the world. I would love to go. I would love to move back to New Zealand and raise our kids there if we ever did. But it's expensive now. I don't know if you've ever been back since, but blimmin' heck, it's $1 million mansions in that area now.
Yeah.
I think when we sold our house, we renovated it just before we moved to Christchurch in 2002. Yeah, 2002. Then we sold the property for about $1 million between the two properties. Recently, it sold for 3.5.
Wow.
So it's crazy expensive up there now. But the school hasn't changed. Not to the best of my knowledge.
Yeah. I'm from Auckland originally, so I've sort of lived all around Auckland, and I moved down country and then went back for university and things, and then had work up there and ended up living in Dairy Flat for just a short burst. But yeah.
Dairy Flat's the nicest little town. It's not much to it. It's a nice little country, and it's got a lot of cool history. Like, it used to be full of kauri trees. And I remember as a kid, we did a trek through the area. So we did a huge walk from the school all the way up near to where we used to live and then back. And they were talking to us about and I said that wrong, it's kauri tree, isn't it? And they were talking about how you could find a lot of kauri gum in the ground if you dug for it. But I was one of those kids who was I wasn't a spoiled child, but I was a press, very much a press. And all my school colleagues or friends are in their gummies up to their ankles and old day clothes, and they're charging through this big bog of dirt. And I was the only one who came out on the other end with no mud on me whatsoever. It was the middle of autumn in Auckland, and it's bog season in Auckland.
It rains all the time.
It really does. But Dairy Flat's got a really awesome history, and the primary school has a little house as their logo. Like, it's a tiny wee wooden shack, and that was the original principal's house of the school.
Cool.
So they've used that as their logo for the primary school, which is really neat. It's a very, very cool little school as well. Like, I loved Ag Day, taking the sheep and the dogs to school.
You don't see that too much these days because really they are shutting down all the little schools and things, and it's nice that one's still there and it still has its tie to its history, which is awesome.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. I remember moving to Ashburton when I was about 9 or 10, and there was a school down the road from us that only had 2 classrooms for the entire age groups from 5 to, would have been intermediate age. I think intermediate kids had to go to Ashburton Intermediate School, but the school was right up to that in 2 classrooms. I don't even know how they did it.
I used to live in a place called Waipukurau, and the school there, the school there had 4 rooms for the entire like Primer 1 through to Form 2.
Wow, Primers. God, I remember when they called them Primers.
4 rooms. The biggest, the room 4 had standard 3, standard 4, Form 1, and Form 2 in it.
Wow.
So you can imagine, you can imagine you're going to learn 1 + 1 and you've got to learn what X is. It was like, huh? Why can't I just learn that one? You know,
it's like those really cool little prairie style TV shows from America. You know, I know you're laughing at me, but it was so adorable. I love those ones. Like I watched. Is it where
I'm sorry, I'm not laughing at you, Bex. I'm laughing at a comment in the chat.
What did Adam say now?
No, SP said high stepping it, huh? Imagine you in the mud just go like this. Yep,
that was me. I did not do mud. I still don't do mud.
And welcome to New Zealand. We've got little small schools with 4 classrooms or less.
Exactly.
And every so often there's orcs fighting. I don't know why, but
I know it's crazy. And these tiny wee little elf things that walk around.
Yeah. Otherwise known as Bex.
Galloping through the rivers.
Isn't it funny that New Zealand really has only known for, Taika Waititi and
hold
our
on.
crazy prime ministers?
Before you say that.
And Lord of the Rings.
Before you say that, when we did the first, we were debating doing promotion for the podcast for you can jump on Fiverr and they'd go through colleges putting up signs and all that kind of stuff. Right. I'd written something up and it said something along the lines of, I can't exactly remember it right now. It was something like, we're not the only royals of New Zealand, but if you like having business time with orcs or something like that. It was basically had listed everything else, and then down the bottom it had asterisks that had Lord, Flight of the Conchords, Lord of the Rings, and whoever else have got nothing to do with this podcast whatsoever. But please still listen. It's like, hello. Yeah.
Oh no. Gosh.
Yeah, I think the Flight of the Conchords one is, there's a few people who might be still in the live chat who know of them and possibly heard of Lord and...
As with Power Rangers, Adam. As with Power Rangers. I don't know if that's something we should be promoting, but yeah.
Actually, I didn't know that was filmed in New Zealand. Not until a couple of years ago. I was quite surprised when I found that.
Here's your useless fact number 403. Did you know that when they turned into the Power Rangers, the Power Ranger parts were actually from a Japanese thing that they just cut out? So in the Japanese one, they have these fighters, and then the American guys got the rights and went, cool, we'll film some kids, and then we'll just chop and change and put these parts into it. And the only reason you can tell is because the Yellow Ranger is a girl when she's not in the Ranger, but when she's a Power Ranger, she has a very distinct lack of boobs and doesn't wear a dress, where the Pink Ranger has got boobs and wears a dress.
How interesting.
And the yellow one looks like a man. Like, it looks like a man. They didn't do a really good job on that one. But yeah, there's a useless fact.
It's a random connection to New Zealand and
there we go. So now you'll think of us, you'll think of Lord, you'll think of Flight of the Conchords, Lord of the Rings, and that time that yellow Asian lady became the man Power Ranger. Yep, sort of.
Oh no, but it wasn't really until Peter Jackson did that we actually sort of registered on the radar, was it?
There's one other thing that I want to say though is just that when New Zealand is mentioned in anything, like, I don't know about you guys, but we all here tend to get really excited about it. It's like, oh, they mentioned New Zealand. That's so exciting.
Even on John Oliver, when he's like taking the piss out of us, we're going, Eminem. I love that every time he does it, it's like, oh my God, we got mentioned in it. Yay. But I've got one other thingy is that my ex-wife and I once were walking on the Wellington waterfront, and we saw this really old ship and it looked really cool. It had a staircase and all that kind of stuff. And we started walking on it because there was no one else around and we thought it was, you know, this guy about 7'5", granted he probably was like 6'3", but he was huge and once again built, comes up to us, slams his hand on my shoulder and goes, "Where do you think you're going?" "We're going on the boat. You're not allowed to. And have you taken any photos of this?" Yeah, we're taking a couple." "They must be deleted now." And we're like, "Okay, fine, whatever." Deleted it. Sweet, no problem, no issues. Peace and love. See you later. Goodbye. Walked off thinking, what was that guy's problem? 3 months later, they released a trailer for King Kong. And the boat we tried to get on was the boat that they were filming on. And we were just like, la, 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 la. There were no signs or anything. And so we almost I pretty much almost touched the boat. Like it was one of those, "Where do you think you're going?" "Oh, I'm just going on the boat." No.
That
So
was a Miramar, right?
Yeah.
Because I had because that's where Peter Jackson's studios are.
Yeah.
Is a Miramar.
Yeah.
Very, very cool. Yeah.
Yeah.
If you ever get a chance to go there, they're awesome. They've got like a museum for all the characters that he created for his films. They're all in one place. It's awesome.
And the one time we went there, but it was the last time we were going to be in New Zealand for a long time, we went there and they were closed. So that was fun.
Yeah, just a word of warning to anyone who wants to come visit New Zealand. I mean, we love having visitors here, but sometimes things are closed. Shops are closed on the weekends sometimes.
But not supermarkets. I tell you what.
And you can buy beer at the supermarket.
Yes, you can. Oh, I miss that.
Can't buy it here.
New Zealand is wicked in so many ways. Like, one thing I hate about Australia is that the supermarkets close at 6 o'clock on the weekends.
What?
Yeah. And I think it was 4 o'clock on a Sunday. No, it's still 6 o'clock.
It was 5 o'clock on a Sunday.
Yeah, but they've extended it. And now I think it's 9 o'clock during the week, but it was always really early. And, you know, there were times where we'd go to the supermarket thinking, oh, yeah, no, at home, supermarkets are open late on the weekends and a bit earlier in the evenings on a weekday. No, not here. Not here at all. And it's so frustrating if you've run out of milk or something. You've got to go pay gas service station prices. But thankfully the servos here are connected with the supermarkets. So if you go to a Woolworths petrol station, which is connected with Caltex, the prices are the same as they are at the supermarket, thankfully. Not like New Zealand where your milk is $5 a litre. Oh, my God.
we won't talk about that because our petrol price is probably a lot lower at the moment too. But I just wanted to say we've been watching. I've been watching Flight of the Conchords a lot recently, and it's so much fun. Just once again, as I said at the beginning, it's good to hear another Kiwi accent because we talk to a lot of Americans and there's a whole different accent thing, blah blah blah. But you don't really, once again, notice how different it is until you're watching it on a TV. The two Kiwis just talking normally.
It sounds funny, eh?
And you're
it does. It actually does,
that doesn't sound right. And they've got like one or two Americans, and you're like, that's the way they should be talking.
One thing I like listening to different accents and stuff. And there's like Discord, and it's got a voice chat thing, and I love hanging out there and listening to all the different accents. It's awesome.
Oh, that's cool.
I've done a couple of times an American accent, and every time I've done my apologies and then done it. And I think Adam once flicked through saying, that was fairly decent. Like, I did it all right.
I didn't even try. I don't want to offend anyone.
I think I was like semi-taking the mick out of it. I'm just like, that was decent. All right, cool. Good to know.
It's hilarious, actually, because I don't know very many Australian musicians that do children's music, except for obviously the Wiggles. And who likes the current Wiggles anyway? And,
Hashtag not my Wiggles.
Definitely not. And I found the Love to Sing series.
Oh, yeah, the Love to Sing.
Yeah, and I'm listening to it with the kids, and I'm going, oh, my God, this is terrible. I forgot how terrible this actually is, because it is terrible. I mean, but it's kids. It's kids.
Yeah.
You can't judge them. But how interesting it is that the accent, after listening to little Aussie kids, the accent is hilarious. Just listening to these kids. I mean, but then again, my kids are very interesting because they speak Māori. I taught them Māori. And I said...
It's always funny seeing these little Australian kids walking around going, hey, Bex, we want some food into our puku. It's the weirdest. Even I was like...
they say puku and taringa. They know what they mean, and they can point to them and tell you what they are. And I taught the kids umarapati the other day, and my little girl's sitting in the back seat going, Uma, rapati.
All right, so just for all of our American listeners,
We
just
need
there.
some context. Yeah.
Puku means stomach. Tarangas are your ears. Uma means run, and rabbity, I'm sure you can understand what that one is.
It's rabbit, yeah.
Yeah.
We were small children. We in primary school learned a song called "Run Rabbit," which is basically just
run rabbit, run.
Yeah, exactly.
And the version of that is umarapati, uma.
Exactly. It's great. It's a great song to teach the kids. I love it. I absolutely love it. It's great. I love Māori songs. In fact, I just love singing songs in different languages. Full stop. I think it's
by the way, Heather, that doesn't count as us hearing you sing. Okay, I still want that song. I still want it sent to me. I know you tried.
He's a horror.
Very well
He's
done.
a horror.
But I want that song. I still want it.
Well, we're gonna wrap up today's session if that's all right, guys. But
yeah,
it's been a lot of fun having some random ramblings with you, and I am so grateful that we've connected. It's nice to talk to other fellow Kiwis.
Absolutely. Thank you very much.
It has been a lot of fun. Yeah.
Cool. I'll see you around, and if you haven't listened to Gareth's Random Ramblings, go ahead and check that out, and hit them up on Twitter and tweet all the people. Who did you want us to tweet again? Not tweet.
No, I didn't. I don't want you to tweet at Ships Have Sailed. I don't want you to tell them that they should do a song with Bex. I don't want you to do that, and I don't want you guys to tweet at Heather and tweet at Bex as well. They should do a song together. I don't want that. Let's just not make it too awkward for them. Let's keep their respect, okay?
It's going to happen, unfortunately.
Yeah.
I hope so. If it doesn't, I'm going to be very disappointed.
Yeah.
It's my John Oliver moment right now. Everybody do it right now. Come on.
Yeah. Cool. Thank you guys for joining me. And I'll see you later.
Thank
you very much. Have a good night.
Bye.
Afternoon.
Cool. That was a lot of fun. Thank you so much to Gareth and Bex for joining me today. I don't have the Gareth's Random Ramblings website up there, but it's Gareth's Random Ramblings. Is it .space? Hang on, wait. I'll unmute you so you can tell me. What is your website address?
Gareth's Random Ramblings.space.
Gareth's Random Ramblings.space. Yep. So go ahead and check that one out.
I was too cheap to buy the .com, so.
Well, hopefully they'll be able to find you. And thank you so much for today. That rounds up today's session for the Sunshine Summit, and that's day 7, so that means tomorrow is day 8, the finale of the Sunshine Summit, the first annual, as it's been called, Sunshine Summit. So I would love for you to all come and hang out with us at 8 p.m. Eastern Time. I think that's about 5 p.m. Pacific, and it is 1 p.m. New Zealand time. So I look forward to seeing you there.